The Tao of Badass, by Joshua Pellicer. Introduction. He could feel the sting of her laughter. He was just a young man then, studying psychology, trying to understand the world, trying to understand himself. He was chatting with a female friend, a girl he liked, but one who had firmly placed him in that dreaded category, the friend zone. And in that conversation, something he said came across with a hint of newfound confidence, maybe even a little arrogance. It was new for him, and she stopped, looked at him with a disbelieving smile, and said, "You know, you think you're hot shit, don't you?" Now, in that moment, most of us would crumble. We'd backpedal, we'd apologize, we'd make a self-deprecating joke. But he was testing an idea, a powerful psychological concept he'd been learning about, that our minds create the atmosphere around us, not the other way around. So he paused for just a second, took a breath, and replied, "Yeah, well, I am." And she laughed. Oh, she laughed hard, in his face, for what felt like an eternity. He just stood there, held his ground, knowing the worst that could happen was that she'd just keep thinking he wasn't attractive, which was no loss from where he was already standing. But then, something strange happened, something that would change the course of his life. The laughter subsided. She looked at him again, really looked at him this time, and then she said something that sent a jolt through him. "You know," she said, pausing thoughtfully, "you're right though. You are hot." That was the turning point, the moment he realized that the invisible force that governs attraction between men and women wasn't magic. It wasn't about luck, or looks, or money. It was a system, a hidden psychology, and it could be learned. The young man was Joshua Pellicer, and he would go on to become one of the world's most sought-after dating and social dynamics coaches, advising companies like Axe Body Spray, training celebrities, and hosting a national radio show dedicated to this one topic. The book he wrote, The Tao of Badass, became an underground phenomenon, a manual for understanding this hidden world. And that's my promise to you today. By the end of our time together, you will understand the fundamentals of this hidden psychology. You'll have a roadmap, a map of interaction, that will show you how to move from a stranger to a deep connection, not by accident, but by design. This isn't about lines or tricks. It's about unlocking a power that, as he says, every single man already has within him. So, let's begin that journey and discover what it truly means to be a badass. Book summary. Have you ever stopped to wonder why we do the things we do? Why do you want a good job? Or to get good grades? Or to build a strong body at the gym? If you dig deep enough, past the surface level answers like making money or being healthy, you'll often find a single, powerful, evolutionary driver: the desire to be attractive, to find a partner, and to create a family. It's a fundamental part of our human story. And yet, for so many of us, this area of life feels like a complete mystery. We're told that success with women is something that just happens. You get lucky. You fall in love. The language itself implies that it's an accident, something outside of our control. But the author of this book makes a profound argument, that this is a skill set. It's not something you're born with. It's something you learn. The men who seem like naturals simply learn these lessons subconsciously, perhaps from a father or an older brother. But here's the secret: when you learn it consciously, you become far more powerful. A natural doesn't know why what he does works. He's like someone who can drive a car but has no idea how the engine works. When it breaks down, he's stuck. By learning the mechanics, you become the mechanic. You can diagnose problems, fix them, and take the journey wherever you want to go. So, what is the engine of attraction? It starts with understanding a fundamental polarity between men and women, what the book calls gender roles. Now, this isn't about old-fashioned stereotypes. It's about a psychological dynamic. For most of history, a man's role was to be a provider-protector, hunting and defending the family. A woman's was to be the nurturer. But society has changed. Physical strength isn't the key to survival anymore. The book explains that these roles have evolved into something more social, more psychological. The modern male role is that of a social provider and social protector. This has almost nothing to do with money. Think about why women are often attracted to wealthy men. Is it the money itself? Not really. The money is just a symbol. It suggests that the man holds a position of leadership, that people depend on him, that he provides value to others. A rock star might be broke, but he provides immense social value to his fans and his band. He's a leader. That's the attractive quality. The core of the masculine role, then, is to be a source of stability and value, to lead with logic and not be swayed by chaotic emotions. The modern female role, in turn, has evolved from nurturer to empathizer. It is the ability to feel, to connect with the emotional world. A woman, when she feels safe and secure, wants to be able to chase the butterflies of her emotions without worrying about the rocks and holes in the field. And it is the man's job, in this dynamic, to be the one who clears the path, who provides that safety. He is the calm center that allows her emotional world to flourish. When this dynamic is in balance, attraction sparks. A man playing the male role is magnetic to a woman playing the female role. But when it breaks down, what the book calls role reversal, the attraction dies. This happens when a man makes his decisions based on his feelings. If he becomes emotionally reactive, she feels she can no longer be the emotional one. Two emotional people can't steer the ship. To compensate, she will suppress her feelings, take charge, and start leading with logic. She is forced into the male role, and he is pushed into the female role. And though it might seem like she's taking control, the book makes it clear. She doesn't want that to happen. She wants to be able to trust the man to lead, so she can feel safe enough to be a woman. This is why, as we'll see, a woman will constantly test you. She's checking to see if you can hold that strong, masculine center. So, if being that stable, logical leader is the key, where does one begin? It begins with the single most attractive quality a man can possess: confidence. Ask any woman what she finds attractive in a man, and confidence will almost always be at the top of the list. But there's a huge misunderstanding about it. Most guys think that men are confident because they are successful or good-looking. The book flips this on its head. It argues that men are attractive because they are confident. Confidence is the cause, not the effect. But what is confidence, really? It's not just being yourself. At its core, confidence is the belief that you have the ability to increase the value of those around you. It's the quiet certainty that your presence makes a situation better. And how does a woman detect this? Through one simple, unavoidable channel: your body language. Your body language, the book explains, is a direct printout of your emotional state, and your emotional state is a direct result of your deepest beliefs. So, it follows, your beliefs control your emotions, and your emotions control your body language. When a woman meets you, she is subconsciously reading your body language to figure out what you truly believe about yourself. Let's imagine a scenario the book lays out. You're walking down the street, feeling good about yourself. You see a group of attractive girls walking toward you. As you pass, they suddenly go quiet, and just after you're past them, they burst into laughter. What's your immediate reaction? If your core belief is, "I'm an attractive, high-value man," your emotional response will be positive. You'll think, "They're laughing because they got nervous," or "They're trying to get my attention." Your body language will reflect this belief. You'll stand taller. You might smile. Your posture will remain open and strong. You have projected confidence. But what if your underlying belief is, "I'm not that great with women"? The same laughter will trigger a negative emotional response: rejection, embarrassment. Your body language will immediately broadcast those feelings. You'll slouch, look at the ground, and try to make yourself smaller to avoid any more psychological attacks. In both scenarios, the external event was identical. The only thing that changed was your internal belief. This is the secret. To become truly confident, you must hack into your own mind and rewrite your limiting beliefs. The author provides a 5-step process for this, a way to consciously install a new, powerful belief system. First, you challenge the old belief. Is it really 100% true that you're unattractive? Has no one in the world ever found you even slightly attractive? Probably not. You find the crack in the logic. Second, you accept a new, more empowering belief. You choose to believe, "I am an attractive man," because that belief will serve you better. This is where affirmations can help. repeating the new belief to yourself. Third, you proclaim it. You start acting in ways that align with the new belief, stating it as a fact when it comes up in conversation. This is what the author did in that story with his friend. Fourth, you gather feedback. You see how the world reacts to this new version of you. Do people argue, or do they start to agree and reflect this new belief back to you? And finally, you submit. When you have enough positive feedback, the new belief becomes a solid, unquestioned fact in your mind. This is the internal work. But how does this new confidence translate into a real interaction? This is where the book introduces its central framework, a 4-stage roadmap called the Map of Interaction. This map guides you from the first moment of meeting someone all the way to a stable relationship. The 4 phases are attraction, rapport, seduction, and relationship balance. Let's walk through it. The first phase, attraction, is where most guys go wrong. It's not about convincing a girl to like you. It's about creating curiosity. The mindset here should be that of a playful boy, not a serious suitor. This phase has 3 key steps. It begins with the introduction, which happens before you even open your mouth. It's the moment you become a blip on her radar. Your posture as you stand at the bar, the way you walk across the room, how you interact with your friends. She is gathering data and making prejudgments from the very beginning. Next comes demonstrating high value. This is crucial. It's not about demonstrating higher value, which implies you think she's better than you and you have to catch up. That's needy. It's about showing, not telling, that you are a man of value. The key here is to communicate one thing above all else: you are not needy. You do this through a combination of playful conversation, called banter, and a mix of positive and negative body language. Banter is content-free conversation. It's not a job interview. You're not asking where are you from, or what do you do. You're teasing, making jokes, and keeping things light and fun. Verbally, you're being positive and engaging. But with your body language, you're not giving her everything at once. You don't face her head-on the entire time. You might talk to her over your shoulder, or turn away for a moment while you're smiling. This push-pull creates intrigue. It signals interest without neediness. The final, and most powerful, step of attraction is qualifying. This is a concept most men have never even heard of. Instead of you trying to impress her, which is what most guys do, you flip the script and make her impress you. You make her feel like she has to earn your attraction. Sometimes, a woman will do this naturally. After you've demonstrated high value, she might drop a little fact into the conversation to impress you, like, "By the way, I graduated from Princeton." She is qualifying herself to you. When this happens, your job is to reward it. "Wow, Princeton? That's impressive. You must be really smart." But if she doesn't do it on her own, you can lead her there. The book suggests a simple but potent tool called the questions qualifier. You can ask, playfully, "So, aside from your good looks, what are the 3 best things about you?" This question invites her to sell herself to you, to list the qualities that make her valuable. In that moment, she is chasing your approval, and that dynamic is the very essence of attraction. Once you've successfully navigated the attraction phase, you earn the right to move to the second phase, rapport. This is where you shift from being a playful boy to being a friend. Attraction is fleeting. Rapport is what builds a real connection. This is where you stop bantering and start searching for genuine emotional links. The book describes a 4-step cycle for building deep rapport: light rapport, wide rapport, deep rapport, and release. You start with light, surface-level questions, light rapport, to find potential topics. When you find one, you explore it, wide rapport. Then, you dive into it to create a true emotional connection, deep rapport, often by sharing a personal story from your childhood and being vulnerable first. And then, crucially, you pull back, release, and return to a lighter topic. By repeating this cycle on different topics, you weave a strong, multi-layered emotional bond. The third phase is seduction. Here, the mindset shifts again, from friend to man. Seduction, as the book defines it, is simply a state where someone's emotional brain is heightened and their logical brain is weakened, combined with sexual tension. The deep rapport you've built is the key to this. It lowers her defenses and makes her feel safe enough to let her emotions take over. Finally, There's relationship balance, which is about maintaining a healthy dynamic in a long-term relationship by balancing four elements: power, who leads; compliance, whose priorities come first; value, your worth outside the relationship; and neediness, your investment in the relationship. This entire map is a powerful tool. But as you navigate it, you will inevitably encounter challenges. Specifically, you will be tested. A test, the book reveals, is one of the best signs you can get from a woman. Women subconsciously test men to filter out the fakers from the genuinely confident ones. If she's testing you, it means she's interested enough to see if you're the real deal. There are two main types. The first is a compliance test. She'll ask you to do something, often something small and slightly unreasonable, to see if you're a pushover. Buy me a drink. Wait right here for me. A low-value man will immediately comply. A badass won't. You don't have to be a jerk. You can playfully refuse, add your own terms, "I'll wait," but only if you do a little dance first, or flip the script, "I was just about to ask you to buy me a drink." You're showing that you follow your own lead. The second is a congruence test. She'll say something to try and rattle you, to see if your confidence is real or just an act. She might tease you or give you a backhanded compliment. "Nice shirt. Did your mom pick it out?" The key is how you react. If you get defensive or flustered, you fail. The best way to pass is to not react at all, or to misinterpret her jab as an intense compliment or a sign she's hitting on you. "Look, we just met. Let's slow down a bit," you might say with a smile. You've passed the test by showing that her words have no power over your state of mind. Ultimately, all of these techniques, from building beliefs to passing tests, are about transforming yourself from a passive participant in your love life to an active creator. It's about getting over that one great hurdle that stops most men before they even start: the fear of the approach. The book calls this approach anxiety, and it describes it as a faulty survival mechanism. Your brain is trying to protect you from the potential pain of rejection. The solution is twofold. First, you must treat your social skills like a muscle. If you don't use it, it gets weak and sore. You have to go out and practice approaching people regularly, just to keep the muscle strong. And second, you have to kill hesitation. The brain's excuse-making process kicks in after just 1 or 2 seconds. If you see someone you want to talk to, you have to act within that tiny window, before the fear has a chance to take hold. By doing this over and over, you rewrite your belief system from "I'm a guy who's afraid to approach women" to "I'm the kind of guy who talks to people I'm curious about." And that is the essence of the Tao. It's not about becoming someone you're not. It's about removing the fears and false beliefs that are hiding the most confident, attractive, and powerful version of yourself. It's about having a map, knowing the rules of the road, and finally taking the wheel. Commentary. When you first encounter a book like The Tao of Badass, it's easy to be skeptical. The title itself sounds like something from a late-night infomercial, promising a quick fix to one of life's most complex challenges. But as you delve into its pages, you realize the core message is far deeper and more meaningful than you might expect. The true Tao, or way, described in this book isn't really about mastering a set of lines to use on women. It's about mastering yourself. The external success it promises is, in many ways, a byproduct of a much more important internal transformation. The central lesson is that your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. If you want to be perceived as valuable, you must first genuinely believe you are valuable. If you want to be seen as confident, you must build that confidence from the inside out by confronting your insecurities and rewriting your own mental programming. This is a powerful and timeless principle that extends far beyond the realm of dating. The author notes that many of his students reported getting promotions at work after applying these concepts, and it makes perfect sense. A person who learns to lead a social interaction with calm confidence, who can add value to others, who isn't swayed by tests or negativity, and who understands how to build genuine rapport is not just attractive. They are a natural leader in any context. What I find most profound is the shift in perspective from being a reactor to being a creator. Most of us walk through life reacting to what happens to us. We get rejected, so we feel bad. We get approved of, so we feel good. Our emotional state is a puppet, and the world holds the strings. This book offers a way to cut those strings. It teaches that you are responsible for the atmosphere you create. The story of the author being laughed at by his friend is the perfect illustration. The external event was negative, but because he controlled his internal frame, he transformed the outcome into a positive one. That is true power. So, how can you start applying this philosophy today, right now? Here are a few simple, practical actions you can take. First, practice the 2-second rule. For the next 48 hours, make it your mission to fight hesitation. The moment you have an impulse to talk to someone, a cashier, a person at the gym, anyone, give yourself no more than 2 seconds to act on it. Just walk over and say hello. The goal isn't to have a perfect conversation. The goal is to train your social muscle and prove to your brain that you are in charge, not your fear. Second, conduct a body language audit. 3 times today, just stop what you're doing and notice your posture. Are you slouching? Are you making yourself small? Consciously pull your shoulders back, lift your head, and sit or stand up straight. Take up a little more space. Notice how this small physical shift instantly changes your emotional state. Remember, lead the body, and the mind will follow. Third, flip the script on a compliment. The next time you want to compliment someone, instead of just stating it, try to qualify them. For example, instead of saying you have a great sense of style, try asking, "I'm curious, what's the thought process behind your style? It seems really unique." This shifts the dynamic from you giving approval to them explaining their value to you. It's a small change, but it powerfully reframes the interaction. Ultimately, the journey described in this book is one of self-worth and social intelligence. It reminds us that knowledge is not power, application is power. You can read 100 books, but nothing will change until you take that first, frightening step to apply what you've learned. That was a summary of the Tao of Badass by Joshua Pellicer. We've explored the main highways of his philosophy today, but I'll be honest with you, a summary can only ever be a map. The real magic happens when you decide to take the journey yourself. It's in the quiet moments, when a particular story or a simple phrase from the book hits you in a way you didn't expect. This overview is designed to help you decide if this path is one you want to walk. If anything we've talked about has sparked a sense of possibility within you, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning techniques. It's an experience that can genuinely change the way you see yourself and your place in the world. A link to the book is in the description. Also, if you found this journey valuable and want to continue exploring the ideas within the world's most powerful books, please consider liking this video and subscribing to Billionaire's Bookshelf. It ensures you won't miss our next adventure into another life-changing text. Let's keep building our wisdom, together.